the most outrageous stuff I see. It's just unbelievable. Like, I remember Michael Yeadon. Michael Yeadon, I think. Was it Dan? Yeadon. Michael Yeadon worked for Pfizer. He was like the main vaccine guy. And he came out and warned everyone that the COVID vaccine is dangerous and no one should take it. So they fired him and replaced him. And now if you look him up, it doesn't say, oh yeah, he's like the main vaccine guy. It says he's a conspiracy theorist, anti-vaxxer. Trying to make you people in the bubble like not listen to him. He's not an expert, he's the expert. And they're telling you, don't listen to crazy conspiracy theorists, listen to the experts. But it turns out when an expert tells you not to take the vaccine, they fire him and then call him a conspiracy theorist. Do you see how that works? I got into an argument with someone once who was pretending to be curious about my views. You know, there's a difference between going, oh, I never heard that. Tell me more about that. I don't know about that. There's a difference between that and going, what's that then? Yeah, tell me that then. Yeah, go on then. Tell me what. Yeah, go on then. Yeah, so tell me what that's about then. It's the same questions, but it's the tone, isn't it? It's like, yeah, go on then, explain it, and you're explaining something to someone they're banking on you not having an explanation. Because the second you start explaining, they go, oh, he's explaining it. And then they just try and interrupt or change the subject. It's like, you just fucking asked. So I got into an argument with a guy that I don't really know. He was a friend of a friend, and I had to get the train with him, and I was on the train with him. So we're both sort of stuck on this train until we get off. It was a weird situation because in one way we're stuck with each other and we kind of have to have the conversation. But also this conversation is on a time limit because once we get to our stop, we don't need to talk to each other anymore. So it's kind of like, quick, go, this is what I'm saying. No, quick, before we get to the stop. So he was like quizzing me on what I think and stuff. And I told him about the Michael Yeadon thing. I was like, what do you think about that? I was like, you didn't know about that, did you? And he's like, no. I was like, well, first of all, why didn't you know about that? Why don't you know about this guy? Okay, now I've told you about it. That's the other thing is when you're telling people that don't want to believe anything and they just want to go along with shit, if you tell them something that they don't know about, well, they don't know about it, so they have to take your word for it, and that's the last thing they want to do. They don't want to take your word for it. He's probably going to look it up. I told him, look, if you look it up, it will tell you he's a conspiracy theorist, anti-vaxxer. But I was asking this guy, I was like, no, enough of you quizzing me. Let me ask you how you're so sure that you're like on the right side of things. I was like, the people that are on the mainstream media news and the people that are pushing this agenda, they've got a lot to gain from this. I mean, first of all, they've got massive control over everything everyone does all of a sudden because of the scary virus. So there's that, there's maximum power and authority based on the science. So there's that to gain. There's them trying out their new vaccine on you. They get to do that. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of money being made. What does the conspiracy theorist have to gain out of being a conspiracy theorist? He's like, oh, but they're trying to make money. I was like, trying to make money? He's like, yeah, they want to sell a book or something. I was like, look, if someone is only an anti-vax conspiracy theorist and that's who they are, that's how they made themselves known, yeah, you might be right. Maybe they are actually talking bullshit and they know it's bullshit, but they also know it gets an audience and people go, oh, what's this about? And they might buy their book and they're trying to make money out of people. It's like a scam. Maybe. But then I told him about Michael Yeadon. I was like, what do you think about this guy? This guy was the head guy at Pfizer. And when he said that the vaccine is dangerous, he got fired. He had everything to lose and nothing to gain. So he got fired, and not only is he fired, but he's now not allowed to speak anywhere, and he's treated like a fucking criminal. What's he gaining out of that? Versus the people that are gaining maximum power, shitloads of money. Yeah. Have you really thought this through? Like, the people that are going against this and spreading disinformation and conspiracy theories are sacrificing everything. You could lose everything. And these are people that have got a lot to lose. Like I said, Michael Yeadon was the main guy. And now he's a crazy conspiracy theorist. And he's not allowed to speak anywhere. And there was tons of people, doctors, nurses, people that lost their jobs because they wouldn't go along with it. Yeah, they were only losing things. They weren't gaining anything. So what does this guy say? This guy I'm on the train with? He just shrugs his shoulders and goes, oh, yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, maybe there's something to that. Because what I'm saying to him is, like, irrefutable. He can't really argue with it, you know? He doesn't even know what I'm talking about. He doesn't know who Michael Yeadon is. But it's not just what I'm saying. It's to accept what I'm saying is to disregard everything else that he thinks he knows. And this is what people can't get their head around, is if they're in the bubble, they don't know they're in a bubble. They think that's the world. So to accept what I'm saying is to disregard what you think is the world. You thought that everyone was saying something, and they're not. It's an illusion. It's not just a bubble of one certain type of thought and one way of looking at things. It's a bubble of lies. But you're led to believe that everyone believes this stuff. So you're like, well, if everyone's saying it, it can't be not true. There must be truth to it, otherwise everyone wouldn't be saying it. First of all, it's not everyone saying it. It's an illusion. Second of all, it's not true. It's obviously, some of this shit is obviously not true. You know, the people that you're listening to are saying, oh, yeah, we can't go out and you can't go to pubs because there's a virus. So actually, you can go to the pub, but you have to leave an hour earlier. What difference does that make? Oh, and you have to sit down. You have to wear a mask when you're standing up and not when you're sitting down. Like, why are you listening to people that say shit like that? Once you take the vaccine, you can't get the virus anymore. You'll be safe. Oh, actually, you can get the virus even though you're taking the vaccine, but it's okay. You just keep taking the vaccine. Oh, and even if you keep taking the vaccine, you still get the virus, but it doesn't matter. Just keep taking it. And if you didn't take it, then the virus would be worse, honestly, even though all the people that haven't taken the vaccine aren't getting the virus anymore. Just ignore that. Just stay in the bubble. The best one was in England when Boris Johnson and all of the British politicians got caught having a Christmas party. So, you know, they're on TV every day going, don't leave the house. We're going to have, what were they called? I called them districts because I was referring to the Hunger Games, but they weren't called districts. What were they called? We had like zones. I think they were called tiers. You're allowed in this tier. You're not allowed to leave your zone, basically. It was just getting ridiculous. And yeah, they're telling you can't go near each other, can't go out, it's too dangerous. And then they got caught having a Christmas party. No masks, all drinking, having a gay old time, right? And it was just like, people that are in the fucking bubble just going, we've caught them. They broke the rules. They should be held accountable for this. I'm like, wait a minute. Don't you get it? They didn't get caught breaking the rules. They got caught lying. It's all bullshit. If the reason that we need these rules and the reason why we can't go out is because it's too dangerous, then if they break the rules, surely their punishment should be that they're all going to die now because of the scary virus. It's on them. It's just been, you know, the illusion has been broken. It turns out it was all bullshit and you don't really need to stay indoors. But no, this turned into, they broke the rules. You see, the rules become more important than the reason for the rules. Because no one's really obeying the rules because they actually believe in them. They're just going along with it because they think everyone else is going along with it. They're like, well, I'm going along with it. Why aren't they going along with it? Well, yeah, it's a good question. Why don't you ask yourself that and try and actually answer it? Like, if someone stops you and goes, whatever you do, don't go that way. It's dangerous. Turn back. Oh, really? Yeah, if you go that way, you're going to die. Don't go that way. Turn around, head back. But then that person that warned you about that, you see them walk straight back into the direction that they told you not to go in. You're like, what? Well, you said it's too dangerous. Isn't that proof that that person's lying to you? And really, there's like treasure and gold over there, and they're trying to stop you from going over there. If someone goes, don't ever go that way, it's dangerous, and then they walk with you the opposite direction, so, oh, well, they're probably being serious. So, yeah, don't go out. Don't have parties. Don't meet up with each other. Oh, we are, though. Yeah, they're lying to you. God. It was the same thing when there was that thing where all the world leaders meet up. What was it called? G7 or something? Was it called G7? All the world leaders meet up at the same time in the same place. So you've got the Prime Minister of England, you've got the President of the United States, you've got the President of Italy and France. Everyone's there. And then they all wore masks and like elbow bumped each other. You know, you couldn't shake hands, you couldn't even fist bump because it's too dangerous. So they like elbow each other with their elbows in front of the cameras. But then when they thought the cameras weren't on, they're all like hugging each other. They were standing around drinking with no masks on. They're all having a big old gathering, getting close to each other. And there's like photos of this on the same day that they're all wearing masks and elbowing each other when they think you're watching. And then when they think you're not watching, they do whatever the fuck they like. Yeah, that's not breaking the rules and being naughty. That's bullshitting you that we have to wear masks and not go near each other. And then they blatantly take their masks off and go near each other straight afterwards. Because it's actually not too dangerous to do that. You see. You see. You see. You see. Do you see? You don't see. Okay. You can't see that from inside the bubble. You just can't see it. So between the year 2020 and now, 2025, I'm going to just sort of jump around all over the place and might not go in chronological order because there's so many different pinpoints throughout this segment of time that sort of coincide with each other. And also, like, you know, the pandemic was only 5 years ago and it went on for 3 years. So it's only 2 years ago. But it's as if it never happened already, isn't it? It's like everything just seems back to normal, like, and it's like it never happened. Because, you know, these days I hear even some people on the right criticize Trump and go, well, he's the one that gave us the lockdowns and he's the one that, he did all of that with the COVID. And I'm like, no, people's memories of this whole thing have gone skew with. Like, if you don't remember, that was what was so scary about the COVID takeover. That's why we call it a COVID takeover. Because it didn't seem to matter who was in power. So we suddenly figured out that there's actually people who are in power that weren't elected. And they can come along and tell people who are in power what to do in the name of science. So it didn't matter that Trump was the president. He was being told, you got to lock everything down. And he was like, what? And he was trying to open everything back up. That's why he did Operation Warp Speed, because they said, you've got to have a vaccine, otherwise you can't open things up. So he went, okay, let's do our best to get a vaccine as quickly as possible. There it is. And then he didn't mandate it. Then they kicked Trump out of office with a fake election. And then Joe Biden comes in and says, you have to take it. He was saying, if you don't take your vaccine, you're not having 4th of July. You don't remember that? You won't be having barbecues. And, you know, some world leaders were, way more into it than others. Like the Prime Minister of New Zealand was way into it. I can't remember her name. She's a fucking evil witch. She's like this skinny woman with horse teeth, and she's always smiling as she's telling you how she's going to totally oppress you and ruin your life. She's always got this smile. She's like, look, you see, there's still some people out there who aren't vaccinated. And we are going to have to hunt you down. She literally looked into the camera and said, we're going to have to hunt you down. First of all, she's talking about unvaccinated people like, have you still not taken it? Come on, keep up. Like they just sort of forgot to take it. No, they don't want it. They're not taking it. They're refusing to take it. She's like, there's still some people out there who haven't been vaccinated. And we are going to have to hunt you down. While smiling like a psychotic nutcase. God, I can't stand that woman. Do you remember the Great Reset? Going to build back better. What was up with the way that woman, the New Zealand accent is like, you know, there's British and then there's Australian, which has the twang. And then New Zealand is just taking it a step too far. It's like, when she said, build back better, She used to go, build, back, bitter. Like, she said every single word wrong. It's like, build is build, not build, back, not beck. And she couldn't say the word better. She said bitter. Bitter is another word, bitter. Means something that doesn't taste very nice. Build, bick, bitter. Shut up, you fucking witch. God, I hate her. Build your face back better, you fucking twat. My theory was always that Boris Johnson in England was trying to just basically mimic Trump. He was buddying up with Trump at the time and just going, well, if Trump could do it, I can do it too. And he was going the Trump way. And then when they rigged the election and got rid of Trump, Boris suddenly 180'd on everything he was saying before that. And just suddenly went along with everything. And then he wasn't around for very long after that. People don't remember this, that Boris Johnson was actually kind of against the lockdowns and the social distancing and all that. He was trying to figure a way out of it. But I think it's because he thought he had his friend Trump. He thought he had a friend in Trump, and he was allying with America and going like, no, we're the freest countries in the world. We're going to sort of show everyone how to do it. And then as soon as Trump was gone, Boris didn't feel so confident, and he just completely backtracked on everything. And just in case you're wondering why an English person who lives in England, me, is so obsessed with what's going on in America, it's because America is the freest country in the world and in history, especially when it comes to freedom of speech. They are the ones that, they're freer than England. And England is pretty free. They are in the lead when it comes to freedom of speech. So if you don't have freedom of speech in America, then you don't have freedom of speech in the world. Don't you get that? That's why the focus is on America here, because it's happening in America. And it's the last place it should ever be happening, is censorship and people trying to take away your right to freedom of speech. So here's what you might have forgotten or misremembered. All right. Is leading up to that election in 2020, Trump was still the president. And then there was all this hoo-ha about the election. And then there was January 6th. And people still remember that. They remember that like it was yesterday. Still talk about it like it was this big scary thing that happened 5 minutes ago. Yet COVID that went on for 3 more years seems like a million years ago, didn't it? But it's not. It's all the same time. All happened at the same time. And leading up to the election was the Black Lives Matter riots that went on for months. And there was fires, burning cities down, trashing the place, looting, which I don't see why that has anything to do with your political movement. Why do you suddenly have to steal TVs because you're trying to make a political statement? It's completely just ridiculous. Injuring police officers, killing police officers. And then January 6th was a riot that went on for a few hours. It wasn't strictly just a riot. It was a protest that had riots going on within it. The police that got injured... Oh, by the way, here's another lie from the mainstream media is police officers were killed on January 6th. They weren't. There was a few police officers that died that day or the next couple of days. Like one of them killed themselves, another one had a heart attack. And I can't believe there's not more conspiracy theories about that. I actually think that's very suspicious, considering that there's reason to believe that there was federal agents working undercover in those crowds. And then a few police officers just kill themselves and die mysteriously later that day. Like maybe they knew something they weren't supposed to know. I can't believe there's no conspiracy theories about that. I'm like the only person in the world that thinks that that's really suspect. I guess because we're sort of ignoring that happened and we're framing it like police officers were killed in the riots, which did not happen. It's a lie. And then police officers got injured and attacked in the riots, but it was more like if there's a big rock concert and there's security and the crowd gets out of hand and everyone tramples over each other and security get injured, it's not really a bunch of people attacking police officers. The Black Lives Matter riots, the police were the target of that political movement. It's not just collateral damage. The police officers got killed and injured.